Alright, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 3 is up. Y'all want to talk about it?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's get the conversation started. Hello and welcome to LexiCon Reviews Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3, exclusively for our YouTube channel. It is Maddie along with
Lexi.
Dylan.
So, episode 3. Thoughts? Should I start?
Yes,
It's
yes,
pretty
you
good.
should.
Well, one thing I want to start with is sort of an overview of the series so far. I spoke a little bit last week about how I had heard some people are feeling alienated from the series because they're showing the instances of racism but not really naming it.
Yeah.
And of course, if they're more overt with it, I'm sure that would turn off another segment of the audience. But I digress. I heard from your mother this week that she's been confused by the show so far. Like, she doesn't really understand what's going on. And to be fair, she's a very casual viewer of the Marvel movies. She watches them all with us, but she watches them and then leaves them. She doesn't dive deep into them or rewatch them or really get into the lore of
Or
it.
write cringy fanfics about them.
But what I'm thinking is maybe this show was too narrowly targeted, you know. Maybe they're going after a very, very small portion, you know, their diehard audience.
Uh-huh.
But they risk alienating a larger audience.
Uh-huh.
I told y'all when we saw the first episode, and I still kind of feel this way, they haven't done anything to really hook me into the series yet. As a Marvel diehard, I'm along for the ride, so I didn't really need that. And they haven't done anything to turn me off of it completely, push me away, but again, they haven't done anything to really suck me in, so I'm afraid maybe they're sort of targeting too narrow an audience and not really bring in a wider audience like, you know, most of the Marvel properties seem like they're geared toward.
Yeah.
And after WandaVision, which turned out to be sort of pointless after 6 hours, I mean, it was kind of a fun ride, but in the end, it felt very hollow. I wonder if we're looking at some Marvel missteps here. I'm kind of just waiting for Loki at this point.
I mean, I'm
Which has a release date for June, so that's exciting.
Yes, it does.
I feel like these series are pretty much bonuses in between the movies.
I mean, yeah, it kind of is just bonuses, but honestly, I'm into it. It hasn't given me this big, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing kind of thing yet, but I'm into it, you know?
Yeah.
I also don't particularly care for this sort of no more heroes, destroy all heroes ethos that they're promoting with this series. I don't have a problem with that in a vacuum. I think it's a fine concept to explore, but it seems really out of place in a cinematic universe completely built on superheroes.
Yeah.
It's like they're not going to stop doing superhero movies. They're not going to, like, you know, Spider-Man's still around, the Guardians, Thor, whatever's coming next. What else have we got?
I have no
A
idea
lot
at
of
this
stuff.
point.
Shang-Chi.
I mean, he's
New to the MCU.
that's a
Some
lot.
guy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so we know we're not going
Didn't-
away from that direction, so it just seems like a strange approach. I mean, I don't dislike the idea of exploring some of the darker side of what goes on and what it takes to prop up these institutions and whatnot. That's cool, but it's just the fact that we've got 6 episodes to do it in, and they're really taking their time with it. I wonder if they're really going to get to a relevant point or really do it satisfyingly. But then again, I have also heard talk that this is going to be a repeating series. Like, there's not going to be just one season of it. Like, obviously,
That could be fun.
WandaVision is probably just going to be one season.
Yeah.
If they explore Wanda more, they're going to do it in another medium. But it seems like this might be a series that gets multiple seasons. You know, it could be like Mando. So, in that light, you know, obviously they have more time to draw out the story and really get into it. So maybe that's what they're working on, and viewed that way, it seems a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't we just see something the other day about what was that character's name? Marvel Batman.
Moon Knight.
Tony Stark?
Yeah, Moon Knight. Isn't that character getting into series? Yeah.
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 It's just freaking.
He's pretty much a Batman, but he wears white
really
instead.
Is just Batman. But that's not what we're talking about.
He's cool though.
That's up for debate. What is cool is Sam and Bucky.
Moon Knight is cool.
I don't know. I still don't buy their chemistry yet. Like, I know Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie have a good chemistry with each other, but it's just not flourishing so far in this series.
Yeah, I think it's still building.
Everything
up in
feels
the
really
series.
clunky in the series so far. To
You
be
know,
honest with you. Like, remember they went to see Zemo in this episode, and then all of a sudden they're just in the garage. There's that very abrupt cut.
He was sitting
sort of
there.
it's sort of like the very abrupt instance where all of a sudden Bucky's just there with Sam after the whole first episode. They're separated.
Yeah, it's
and you think
a
there's gonna have to be
little
something to bring them
odd.
together. Nope, we're just here.
It's a bit odd right now, but he was sitting there talking to Zemo, and I'm just sitting there like, don't break him out, and then he breaks him out, and it's like, god damn it,
Well,
Bucky.
Zemo had to get out. I mean,
Well, yeah, but it's
it's
still just like, god damn it, Bucky.
I do feel like they're using Zemo as a little too much of a comedy figure right now. He's sort of like the wacky sidekick that teams up with the good guy. He's like
For
Joe.
now.
He's like Joe Pesci to Mel Gibson and Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon, and it's sort of like, really, that's the approach they're going to go? Because he was such a serious, you know, character in Civil War.
Uh-huh.
very nuanced, and I really like the character in Civil War, and I don't like what they've done with him so far. Obviously, it's our first glance at him. We've got at least 3 more episodes, and maybe more, but I didn't really enjoy Zemo's appearance in this, nor did I enjoy the new cynical Sharon Carter either.
That one was interesting.
But at the same time, obviously there's more going on with her, as we saw with her.
She's badass.
Yeah, I like that. I enjoyed seeing her as the new Black Widow, but that's not the point. I just didn't like her attitude in this. That sounds weird. I don't like your attitude, but I just don't like the way the character's being presented. But again, there's more to it, because we saw that little coda with her and her little, female consigliere.
That's a word I've never heard.
I'm going to, talk to you and on the ride, so obviously there's more going on with her.
Important.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like there's more.
Consigliere, it's like your person who they like to take care of business for you. They're like an advisor, especially in crime families and like the mob was presented like somebody up there who worked for the Don.
I'm on mob TikTok, but I don't understand it, so.
But that's not the point. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I was trying to illustrate.
That might be that might be a member in town of Salem.
Okay. Anyway, with Sharon, it's interesting. I still don't feel one way or another towards the character.
The badass.
I mean, yeah, her fighting was cool.
I did feel like there were too many coincidences in this episode too. Like all of a sudden Sharon Carter's there, and like the crime boss or just happens to get shot right when she tells her goons to kill them, and it's just like, I don't know, I didn't play all that well. And obviously there's a mystery going on here, and it's going to unfold, and we'll see how it plays out. This is much more of a down and dirty sort of espionage thriller, sort of like the Winter Soldier movie was compared to the other Marvel movies. So that's kind of cool.
I just want to say, Bucky having to act like the Winter Soldier, and then all that fighting. I'm still processing it.
Well, he's done a lot of fighting.
Well, yeah, I know.
And he was fighting people that seemed to be criminals, so it's not really that big.
Well, yeah, no, that's not big of a deal.
I feel like everyone got to be badass in this episode.
It was pretty cool. I liked watching.
He didn't initiate the violence; it came to him.
He did well. I liked it, but I'm still processing the fact that he had pretended to be Winter Soldier and all that, like still brainwashed stuff.
But like everyone got to be badass except for Sam.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot to do in this. I did feel like the action was a little repetitive in this episode.
I'm sorry.
It's like the action in the first 2 episodes was fairly distinct, and this one was just sort of like more of the same and more of the same and more of the same. But it's one episode. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't think it was more of the same of what we got in the other episodes. I feel like the action in the other episodes were distinct, and then this one you just kind of saw the same action over and over in it.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, on what authority do Sam and Bucky get to go visit Zemo?
I have
Again,
no
this
idea.
is I'm very confused on how all this works. They're pardoned and they're part of this and they're not part of that, and they work for the government a little bit, but they don't. The Sokovia Accords, and I'm still very confused.
They walk this very
and it's like, if you're going to touch on that stuff, you need to explain it.
They just walk this very thin line between the two.
You just get to do whatever you want.
As far as Zemo goes, of course, within the context of the story, I don't trust him.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sam and Bucky team up with him. I realize they have a somewhat common goal in trying to eliminate the super soldiers, but their aims, their intentions are not the same.
Exactly.
Overall, so I don't really like them teaming up. But again, it's still basically every week we talk about this, and just like WandaVision was, it's like, well, we're gonna wait and see till next week, see how it goes, see how it comes up.
Yep.
So I'm still waiting and seeing. I wonder if I'm gonna be saying that by the end of the series. Well, let's wait and see what the second season brings us, or the movies that play off of this.
I mean, it's doing it in a not so smooth way, but it feels like it's building up, that's nice.
But is it good? But WandaVision felt like it was building something too, and then it kind of didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like some parts
like it did, just not what we were expecting.
I don't want to still be waiting for this to give us something once the series is over.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting too, Carly's description of the super soldier serum and their experience with it, where their veins were burning and she was praying to die. That's exactly the same description as what it's like to become a vampire in the Twilight universe.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, the vampire!
And I really liked her character until all of a sudden she's blowing people up.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that too, because if she's going to be established as the villain, let's let them be villains. I don't like these. I don't like these sort of villains where it's like, well, you can kind of be ambivalent, and maybe they've got some good sides, they got some bad sides. But don't get me wrong, I appreciate shades of gray. But in a superhero world, you're going to establish a villain. For the most part, I want them to be villainous. Like every now and then, you can play with it a little bit and have somebody who's maybe they're a villain, maybe they're not. But I mean, still, basically, you're going to give me good guys, then give me bad guys who are really bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that they're doing that with her. But there were so many layers to her character before that, and her motivations and whatnot. So even that seems sort of a little incongruous compared to what we've been getting already.
I feel as though there's supposed to be a little more in between what we're seeing, you know?
I mean, there's obviously the villain needs to have.
Well, I'm not sure
yeah.
they were, because I thought Power Broker was going to be established as the villain, but then all of a sudden
Well, they could be.
she's blowing people up and be like, the Power Broker's going to come big to us. They're sort of switching stuff, and I don't necessarily like swerves like that, so
They're at least the antagonist if they're not the villain.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's my review of the series. 3 episodes in, I'm still saying we'll see.
halfway
I
through.
feel as though that could be a little more. Like, I
wonder when
understand
they're
they're
gonna get the
working
shield.
with so much time.
And again, for like a Marvel diehard like me, that's fine. I'm going to watch the whole series,
Same.
but I wonder if they're turning people off because they're not really getting anywhere. It's just
Yeah.
constantly wait and see, wait and see, wait and see.
I wonder when they're gonna give the shield back. Episode
At
6?
some point.
Yeah, those scenes of
They
them throwing the
talked
shield,
about
that's
it.
literally the end credit scene of episode 6.
Right. They had a moment of talking about it in this episode.
Yeah, Bucky said he's going to get the damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
And
Bucky,
Sam said destroy it.
apparently those references to Wakanda weren't just throwaway lines, because we got one of the Dormilaje at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I did not see that coming.
Me
Even with the
neither.
reference to King T'Chaka,
Uh-huh.
and have Wakandans forgot about, Baron Zemo's role in that.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Even when he was picking up the bees, I didn't even. I'm like, what is that? Why does he think that? I did not. I
thought he was going on collect
I did
the
not
quest.
I mean, I knew they meant something, but even when he's
I
sitting there
didn't know
talking
what,
to someone,
though.
like, you dropped something, hey, where are you? And I know somebody's going to show up. I'm like,
I'm sitting there
I
like,
did not-
nobody shoot Bucky.
I did not put it together that was the the beads from Black Panther. But that's an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. I feel as though, like, each episode we're just getting, like, this character, and it's like, what the f.
That was like
and then this
that was like the
character.
most interesting thing in the episode, though, is that setup and what it might portend for the series going forward. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. But overall, even that still is wait and see. So
Yeah.
that's my review of the first 3 episodes. The first half of the series, we'll see.
But at first I thought they were gonna maybe get the shield back this episode because on the previously on you saw like Bucky saying let's steal the shield.
Yeah.
So I thought they were gonna get this episode, but nope. So maybe next episode.
Again, we'll see. So anybody got anything else they want to throw in? I don't have a whole lot. Like I've said what I needed to say.
I think that was
Not that I
everything.
know.
pretty
Well, I do want to say when they went to Madripoor and they
Yeah.
got picked up by that car, but at first they're walking. How far do they have to walk before they got to that car?
No
I'm like,
idea.
did they walk from the U.S.? Did they swim across the ocean? All right, well, that was our take on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 3. Make sure you come back next week right here on YouTube for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 4 review. And, of course, new episodes of the podcast drop every Sunday at lexiconvo.wordpress.com. All the links will be down below. So make sure you come back when the conversation will continue. But until then, I am and will continue to be Maddie.
Lexi.
Dylan.
And this is Lexi Concluded.
Bye.